Is a special edition of the Boom Bap Chat. I got some brothers on the screen tonight and in your podcast ears that I love dearly. These guys have inspired me through the years in all kinds of different capacities. So I'm really excited to chop it up about what we have going on coming up on May 21st and beyond. I would like you all to introduce yourselves um, and tell the world how you're feeling right now by using a native tongue album or song. All right. So think how you're feeling, feel your body, how you're feeling, and describe it using a native tongue song or album. All right. We'll throw it over to Io Mas to go first.
Man, I'm feeling the mood that I'm in right now is I am I be. The first
Yeah.
lines of Paz when he said, I am Pasta Noose. I'll be the new generation of slaves here to make papes in my record exec rates. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I feel that way right now. Like
Dope.
I was just in this conference and it just seemed overwhelming. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like the work that everybody else is doing. And I was just like, man, I just feel like, you know, I got black feathers and the apples that I usually get is all worms, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
I'm feeling I am I be right now. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Okay. Right on. Thanks, Io Mas. We'll throw it to Napoleon next.
Yeah, I think I would have to say I'm feeling keep it moving from Beats, Rhymes, and Life.
Yes.
A very, very well slept on Tribe album at a time where it was starting to kind of lightweight, start to disintegrate a little bit. And they introduced Consequence and all that. But yeah, keep it moving. Ain't got
Mm.
no time for shucking and jiving.
Yeah.
I like how Tip put a little slight melody on the hook right there. Keep
Yeah.
it moving to the KIM. Keep it moving to the KIM. Ain't got no time for shucking and jiving. Yeah, yeah. So that's the space I'm in right now. We got
Man.
always some craziness in the world, but it seemed like it's just getting on 10. It's more and more and more. So every as crazy as it gets, then the more art we need to create, and the more revolution we need to bring through revolutionary thoughts and action.
Mm.
Keep it moving.
That's dope. I love it. I love that. And I love that song. And yes, such an underrated album. Such a dope album. All right. We'll swing down to Jay Hill. What's up, man?
What's good, y'all? I'm Jay Hill of the rap groups Patterns of Chaos with Stylitics and No Clue with the homie King Flex and some super group combining the two coming to the theater near you. Um yeah, I make rap music and the native tongue song that I'm feeling right now would probably be What by a Tribe Called Quest because
Mm.
I feel about a lot of things.
What?
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 I'm definitely in a period of my life where it's like there's just a lot of questions and a lot of things. A lot of old questions are being answered, and it's just kind of like opening up new ones.
Yeah.
So,
I love
you
it.
know, what?
I love it,
And I want
man.
to give a shout out to Napoleon's choice because when he said keep it moving at first, I thought he was gonna say Busta Rhymes' song from the
Mm.
company. Since I know he's like technically non-native tongues, but like definitely is.
Yeah.
Like especially on like around that first album era. But yeah.
Totally. Dope. Dope. Thanks, Jay Hill. And Vibe One.
Peace, peace. I'm Vibe One, solo artist, producer, also a member of the group the Watusi Tribe.
Mm.
And I had a few songs because I'm in a few spaces right now that all coincide, and it's off of that album, Beats, Rhymes, and Life.
Mm.
That is my life right now. That is my life for a long time, 30 years. I've always been about beats, rhymes, and life. And then each year comes around, it's like once again, I got to keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm on an award tour because all the shows that I'm booking and lining up is all leading up to a big show this year on my birthday, September. My birthday September 13th, but the show is gonna be on September 9th. It's gonna be my 50th birthday bash / concert. So I feel like it's an award too, and the award is making it to 50. You know what I'm saying? Woo.
That's hey, that's dope, man. That's super dope, man. There's so many songs I could choose, but I thought about "Stressed Out"
Yeah.
from Beats Rhymes and Life because a lot. That was yesterday. Yesterday I had a full day. Yesterday was nuts for me. It was nonstop work. It was a little stressful, but I have to say I feel very Bonita Applebaum lately,
Mm,
and not the topic that not the topic of the song, but the vibe of the song and the way the song is structured. Where like the music is going on, and Q-Tip is just kind of chilling. He'll say a few lines, he'll just kind of back off. He'll say a few lines, kind of back. It's almost like he's observing the beat. And I
right.
feel like with a lot of things in my life, it's like, okay, I'm observing all these changes and all these things happening, and I'm kind of jumping in a little bit and then kind of bouncing back and observing again. So and I just love that song too, man. The bass and the sample, like the whole song is just that's my style right there. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you all for introducing yourselves and giving us a little native tongue flavor. The reason why we're doing this special native tongue Cincinnati Boom Bap Chat edition is because on May 21st, it's a Saturday from 1 to 4 p.m. at Everybody's Records over in Pleasant Ridge, right here in Cincinnati, we are going to put on an event called Native Tongue Cincinnati, where you see Io Moss and Jay Hill and Vibe One. We also have Fortune, who's going to be there, and DJ Tree playing some native tongues music. We're going to do some performances that day at the record store. We're also going to have a little panel discussion. We're going to invite people in the room to join that discussion and talk about the influence that the native tongues has had on us and in the room there that day. And so it's going to be a celebration of the native tongues, also a celebration of Cincinnati hip-hop music. And to help us do that, Iomas Marad, our out-of-town guest, is going to come down. He's got connections here in Cincinnati. He's been at Scribble Jam, and he's from Chicago, so there's that Midwest connection. So he appreciates this scene, and so he's going to come down and show us some love, and we'll reciprocate for sure. So that's what's happening, but it's part of something bigger, a bigger movement. And I want to throw it over to Napoleon to just talk about what this sits under, what umbrella it sits under, and just kind of explain the whole thing. So, Napoleon, I will pass it to you for that.
Yeah, bro. It's good to be here and have this opportunity to share that like later on in the year in October we're having the Underworld Black Arts Festival, also known as the Underworld Jazz Festival. Um, and so it's going to be October 20th through 23rd. And one of our main headliners this year is going to be Jerobi from a Tribe Called Quest. So that's the link in, that's the connect. And it's gonna be all the way, completely, totally, 100% live. It's gonna be super dope. Uh, me and the boss queen Kim went up to Shottown to catch one of his sets, his DJ sets, and it's like everything you would imagine and more. It's just live.
Right.
So we're looking forward to bringing that to the Natty. We're gonna be also rocking with several other artists during the festival and several artists that night, the night of his show, which is October 21st. And tickets will be available soon. Um, there are people, I'm sure there's some people out there that are not hip to or haven't gotten to experience the Underworld Jazz Festival yet or Underworld Black Arts Festival. And we really like we call it the Underworld Jazz Festival not only because of my love of all great black music, which jazz is a way to express that in one word, talk about the whole continuum of black music. So not only for my love of the aesthetic of music that swings and hits and expresses freedom, but also to talk about a way to talk about black thought, black creativity, ingenuity, inventiveness, taking something that seems like it's not that much and doing all kinds of things with it because the moment dictates. That's jazz. That's jazz. But that's also our experience. One of my favorite lines from a recent album, not that recent anymore, but Jay-Z on a Jay Electronica album, he said, my ancestors took old food and made soul food. you
Right.
know.
Mm.
And so that's the Underworld Jazz Festival, Underworld Black Arts Festival is about all of that. And so we've been partnering up with different creators and different organizations, having special events leading up to this October. It's like a season of events,
Right.
several events that all point to October, the actual festival. Thus far on the festival, we've had special guests like award-winning baritone saxophone player Claire Daly, award-winning pianist Mark Carey, um, Grammy-nominated group Tank and the Bangers. We had wow, who else we had? Curtis Folks, also a Grammy-winning trombone player. Sarak, we had in, um, and then other artists that are from outside of the region collaborating with artists that are here in Cincinnati and just redefining what it means to be a hip hop artist. That's also curating and taking our destiny in our own hands. We had this conversation a little bit earlier with Amos about what it means to be a black artist, a black visual artist as well, and how um, the 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 rules that society throws out to us, the inconvenience of 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 doing black art in the absence of light, which is another that's a name of a film actually you should check out, Black Art in the Absence of Light. um, that we keep creating even when the lights are not on, even when
Mm.
nobody will be looking. And that passion to keep creating also causes us to need to set up platforms and opportunities where we realize it's not just about me, Napoleon, an individual having something to say, but knowing that there are other people like myself. And if we bring forces, we bring our voice together, we are a mighty voice. So you have the gospel choir, you have the orchestras, the big black uh, early swing orchestras, and you have hip hop collectives. It's just a tradition of us getting together. So we expressing that desire and that need for us to get back together. Beautiful things happen when we get together.
That's dope, man. That's super dope.
Man, that's so powerful. Everything that
yeah.
he said, I'm gonna have to go back and take notes. That was fire, man. That was fire, Napoleon. Dang.
So the Underworld Jazz Festival originally started how many years ago?
Our first year officially as a festival was 2018. That's
2018. Okay.
that's when we said, okay, we're gonna call this a festival. But interestingly enough, it really was born out of us doing events, the kind of events that we've been doing for years, going back to the early Is What days. Is What is
Mhm.
my band that I've been rocking with since for a long time. And we knew that what we were doing was so much off the beaten path that we just started doing gigs in places where people weren't having hip hop or where they might not have
Mm.
been having poetry or jazz, but just playing like, okay, we want to play. We want to play. We ready to play. We hungry. We ready to play. So we would just book stuff in anywhere we could book it. And then after over time, as our following grew, then we started welcoming other artists to come in from out of town. And I think in actuality, Underworld Jazz Festival has been alive since before it had a name. You know, welcoming artists from Japan or from Ethiopia, from of
Mm.
course New York or Chicago or Columbus or with different people we knew that were on the road and bringing making opening the welcoming door to bring them here to promote them in Cincinnati. So, and the funny thing is that the night that I was like, okay, we're really gonna do this now. Was a night we had. Um, it was Patterns of Chaos, Is What, and Mike Wade. Mike Wade actually had played the night before, but he came back. It was around New Year's Eve, and he came back the second night, and he sat in with I don't did he sit in with Patterns of Chaos, or did he and Stolly do something?
I'm trying to remember who sat in with us. It might have been him.
It was a trumpet
It
player.
might, wait, no, I think you sat in with us, didn't you?
I don't know. Well, if I'm there, I'm probably gonna sit in anyway.
Yeah.
But I think Mike Wade can. I know Mike sat in with Is What, but it was a whole festival vibe. It was like a
Yeah,
festival,
yeah.
and it was that Motor. And I was sitting there
Mm.
like Motor is one. I like playing in Motor because it just has that vibe. It's like that. They
Motor's
got
fun.
like and I
Yeah.
like Motor, but I was like, they getting a whole lot to not for us not be putting a stamp on this and saying this is our production. They got a lot that weekend because it was 2 days. And Nasty Natty Brass Band, another festival favorite that always comes back and brings that flavor. They played the previous night. So that was 2017,
Okay.
2018. We gotta do it as a
Mhm.
festival. Yeah.
Yeah. That's dope. That's dope. Before we continue on, I homage J Hill Vibe One. Is there anything that you don't know about this festival that you're wondering about, or just any questions that you want to ask about this festival?
You know what? I didn't know exactly what year it started, so that answered that question. And then I think it was 2019. Yeah, because everything shut down in 2020.
Right.
2019 was when you did the one about your aunts, right?
Right, yeah. Twice the
Yeah,
first time, Millie Christine's one.
yeah,
Wait, Sorg was in town for that one. Yeah.
yeah. Right. I think we interviewed y'all as leading up to that on no, I'm talking about and all that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I've spoken several different times with him about the festival. I just didn't remember how when it started.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I remember that year because I think it was that year where the kickoff was we looked at your album that you did with Sorg
Oh
and had like a
yeah.
conversation about it. And then you all
Right,
did a performance that night.
right,
I think that
right.
was that year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think that was that when we did the other we were at everybody's, right? Was that where we had the conversation about the album, or that was a separate? It was a
I think that
conversation.
was I think it was two separate events, but I remember that everybody's joint too. That was live.
That was
That was
super live. That was super
yeah,
live. Yep.
that was a
That
fun
definitely
time.
had that old school family reunion vibe of like, oh man, I ain't seen you since the last time, and you still
Right.
going, you still at it. That was beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah, that
thanks
was
for doing that and for opening the door for that.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Cool. Jay Hill, anything?
Um, I guess I don't have many questions about it right now. I'm just looking forward to it this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. Me too. So as part, like Napoleon was saying, as part of the lead up to the big Jerobi, concert, May 21st, we'll have like a lead up event at everybody's, and
Yeah.
everyone you see on the screen, except for Napoleon, who will be out of town, and me, who will be hosting, will be performing that day, along with Fortune and DJ Tree, and we're just gonna have a really good time performing and talking about the native tongues and how they have influenced us. And so that's what we want to get into tonight. Just give you a little snippet. All right, this isn't gonna be a full length Boom Bap Chat tonight. Just a little snippet. We want to invite you to come out to Everybody's Records on May 21st. If you're in Cincinnati, and if you're not in Cincinnati, just get a plane ticket. I know they're very expensive right now, but it's native tongues. It's worth it. All right. Come talk about the native tongues with us and join us for that. So I just want to have some fun tonight. Oftentimes you see online people arguing and debating opinions, which is ridiculous. This or that. Like, who's the better MC? What's the better album? And when done right, I think it can be a celebration. So I want to celebrate the native tongues tonight and just ask some questions and we can have some fun with it. So the first question is talking about songs now. All right. And this is what you think. All right. This isn't like law, but this is what you think.
No, if I say it, it's law.
Except for Napoleon. Napoleon's law. The rest of us just have opinions.
Nah, I'm cooking.
All right. So two songs. I'm going to throw out two songs to you. I want you to think about it and tell me which song you think is the better song. All right. Not which song you like more, but what song you think is the better song overall. All right. On one side, we have Stakes is High by De La Soul. Not the album, the song. All right. Stakes is High. And on the other side, we have Check the Rhyme by
Mm.
Tribe Called Quest. Which is the better song? If you had to decide, you had to give a dissertation, you had to pick one and
Now,
explain yourself. Vibe One, what's up?
now you saying not the one we like, but how the song is constructed, like on a technical. Okay.
However you want to take that. What's the better song in your opinion? Because you can have songs that have like nostalgia and have like a person, like maybe it's a song you proposed to your
Right.
spouse to, or whatever, and that's your song. But what's the better song in your opinion?
I'm going.
It's not fair, man. That's not that's not fair, too. Good God, man.
I'm going with Check the Rhyme.
Check the rhyme. Okay, one for check the rhyme. Why check the rhyme?
I just like how they set each other up each time before they go into the verses. And I think, as far as from what I heard leading up to that, I never heard. I don't know if I heard anybody do it maybe quite like that. And just the way, just the smoothness of the transition of how they did it with the, of course the music is just crazy. Um,
Mhm.
and it's just something that if you're not somebody who's into hip hop, I think you will like it. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's something that it will draw you in, and it'll be one of those, you performed, and somebody was at a venue that you performed at. They said, you know what? I don't necessarily like rap or listen to hip hop, but I can listen to you. I think that song kind of has that same type of vibe to it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I feel that. I should have said from the beginning. We're gonna do 3 this or that's, and you get 1 pass. All right. So if you got a pass, you can take 1 pass. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we got 1 for check the rhyme. Jay
I
Hill.
I would also say check the rhyme.
Ooh.
Like it's like crazy opening joint. Just kind of bangs. I like how the drums come in. Like how they cut out. And I like how they come back in. It's like a classic Tribe Called Quest like dynamic, and it's like Vibe One was saying, like if that's the one that you were just hearing for the first time, like it doesn't really matter who you are, something's going on when you hear that. Stakes is High is like a really good, like it's not necessarily a deep cut, but it's not the one that I would say sticks out on the surface as much as like De La Soul's other singles. Like you hear Me, Myself, and I, and like you hear that and you're like, oh snap, that like this song is happening right now. And yeah, I feel like Check the Rhyme just kind of has a bit more of that feel to it.
Okay. Napoleon, you're about to say something, man. I can see it.
Uh, it's definitely it's a tough one. I'm not gonna act like it's definitely close. It's close, but the thing is, it's got to be Stakes is High. Stakes is High.
Mm.
And I'm not gonna talk about like the production and how precise the production is, and like the contouring of the track and the way that the track builds, and the fact that it features Tip in on the chorus. Just adding that perfect vibe. But I'm gonna give you, this is how you know, like at a time where De La was not at their peak
Mm.
when that song came out. They were not at their peak, and the Roots came and played at UC, and they were outside. It was a free concert. UC had been doing every year. They started around that time in the '90s doing these free outdoor concerts, and the Roots came through. And I was hip to the Roots, but a lot of people weren't, and they came through, and they tore the stage down. And then De La was the headliner. And when people were still discovering, like, oh, you don't really want to play after the Roots. You really don't want to do that unless you got like the show of shows. And especially back then. And De La came on, and it started raining at the same time that they came on. As
Mm.
people were leaving, people were just leaving. It wasn't pouring, it wasn't thundering, but it was just like this steady trickle. And people was like, I just seen the show. I don't even know who that group was right there. But that group right there with the live band and the MC that's just ill, and I don't know if Rozelle was with them or not. I can't remember, but I just remember that it was super. It was ill. And De La was on, and it was like you watching legends on stage with people leaving the concert because they just saw
Mm.
everything that they needed to see, and it was raining. And I was like, okay, but this is De La, so I'm gonna rock with him. And then I was getting ready to leave, and then they played Stakes is High for the first time. I had never heard that song before, and it
Mm.
Mm.
worked so well. I was like, that song right there, that song touched my soul, and
Mm.
that's why
Mm.
I forgive you, Jay Hill, but you blaspheme when you say that song is not deep.
That
Yeah,
song
that's
is super deep.
I didn't say it wasn't deep. That actually no, I was saying that it doesn't have the surface appeal that like a that I think a Check the Rhyme or a Me Myself and I like does. Like just comparing it to other De La songs, I think
oh,
it's actually a much deeper song. Like it's a really mature song in their catalog. Like it's a yeah, it's a really great one.
oh, okay,
I just like yeah, it doesn't bang quite as hard to me.
yeah.
Sure.
So if you put Check the Rhyme in the position of Stakes is High, I feel like Check the Rhyme is legendary because it's a dope legendary track. But Stakes
Yeah.
is High came out at a time where that style of hip hop was being ignored, was passe. And
Mm-hmm.
when it hit,
Mm,
like it touched, I think it touched a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
okay.
I just think that's of the two.
All right.
I can definitely appreciate that.
We got two check the rhymes. One stakes is high. Iomas.
Yeah, I would have to agree with the. I gotta go with Stakes Aside, man. One, cause of the Dilla effect, and then two, just like Napoleon said, it was at a time that song and that album dropped at a time with De La. People was trying to decide whether De La was gonna be a permanent fixture or they was on their way out. And I
Mm,
remember the Source had their rhyme as the rhyme of the month. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? The rhyme that Paz said about like, when needles connect. No wonder where we live is called the projects. Like
Projects.
gun control means using both hands in my land. It's all about the cautiously event. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, yo, about time they giving the props to like these
Yeah.
real like so that I gotta go with Stakes Aside too, man. Cause I think that's just a dope. And even Dave, I'm sick of talking about, sick of Versace glasses. Cause that was all that was during that
Yeah.
era. And they just came and just smashed all of that. Like,
Name
I'm
that's
sick
rapper.
of all of that. You know what
Rap.
I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
feel
what are
you.
you saying?
Life
Like
shit
Coke,
get
like,
all up in your ass. Nigga,
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
let me tell you what it's all about.
All about. You know what I'm saying? And even that video, like that
Yeah.
video
It was
kicking
dope.
off with this talk show host, like, you know what I'm saying? I
Maury
forget what his
Povich,
name
right?
was.
Maury Povich.
Yeah. So I gotta go with Stakes Aside, man.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
All right.
But
Well,
I
I'm gonna
love
have,
Check the Rhyme. Check the Rhyme is
Yeah,
one of that's a classic, but I gotta go with Stakes, man.
jump in here to be the deciding vote because we can't let it go 2-2.
Okay.
So I love check the rhyme. I love that song. I love the bass on it. I love how the snare hits. I love the different ways the music changes up. I love the fun back and forth flow. I think it's one of the best native tongue songs. But the native tongues has officially been
it's
reinstated.
faded.
I gotta go
Come
with
on,
Stakes is
bruh.
High, man. When I heard that line, I was like, I didn't know they were broken up, but I'm happy they're back together. I was excited,
Wow.
And man, it's and I have to give it to that just because it's such a deep song. It's
Mm-hmm.
such a deep song, and like Napoleon was saying, that it drew me in. Those horns,
Mm-hmm.
we could go on for days about that song. So sorry, Vibe One, Jay Hill. See how y'all
No,
do next round.
It's
But
all
no,
love.
it's all love. You can't go wrong. Both songs are dope. All right.
I
Both
love.
songs are fire.
Now
no.
remember, you get one pass. All right, and you might all have to pass on this next one. We'll see. Okay. Um, the next one. Okay, we're gonna do an album here. All right.
Here he go.
Low End Theory
Oh my
or Split. Midnight Marauders.
God. I knew he was gonna do that, dog. Oh my God.
Did I spell that right?
Yeah, man.
Did I get that right?
Yo,
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
came
Jay Hill.
I came low key prepared for this one because I had to decide this for myself a long time ago. And as much as so, I will start by saying Low End Theory is definitely like a crazy seminal album, and Scenario is like one of my favorite songs of all time. Like if I ever make a song with like more than two rappers in my brain, it has to be somewhere near as good as Scenario. Like it has to at least feel like that, even if it's like sad. Like it'll be the scenario of sad rap songs. Like that song's amazing. Busta Rhymes made me decide on my stage presence like with that verse. Like, but as far as just like album construction goes, and just like beat after beat and concept after concept, and also just the inclusion of "Suck a Nigga," which is like the predecessor to my own song "Bitch Nigga," which like we discussed with Napoleon yesterday at Warmth. Like yeah, Midnight Marauders, just like I don't know, something about it just like sticks a little bit more for me. Like I think like from stirred up to God lives through, like that thing just goes, it flows amazingly. Like it's just a really cool album. And I like the little interludes. It's like before people made it corny. The only I think one of the only people who kind of like took that took the little mid album announcer vibe and made it still kind of cool and futuristic were these guys, M-Flow, this Japanese group.
Huh.
Yeah, just happen to
Okay.
have this in Flip. It's the benefit of being here. but but yeah, like they kind of adapted that into their albums, and I noticed like there's like more subtle cultural impacts that come from that album that definitely like drip their way down to me, and I think like Q-Tip's writing on that one is just like so consistent. So I can't really, yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about either. I just have like stronger favorable opinions for Midnight Marauders.
Dope. Got one for Midnight Marauders. Who
Midnight
wants to
Marauders.
jump in? Midnight Marauders 5-1?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this the consensus? Are you gonna? I know I almost. I know you're gonna go with Midnight Marauders. I already know.
Rap music.
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
do we have
Was
a
Vibe One
decision?
done? Was Vibe One? You want to explain why?
No. It's just
Yeah,
it's just Midnight Marauders.
yeah,
Period.
yeah, man. That Midnight Marauders changed my whole perspective on music, man. Like, just that's a well put together album.
Yeah.
I think Low End Theory and Midnight Marauders could have been a double CD, but
Yeah.
that Midnight, because this is just basically, to me, it's like a continuation. But they just elevated. They just took it to like low end. And I was like, I remember I wrote about it in the book where I was like, I remember going to the record store thinking like, man, how can they outdo Low End Theory? Like, and it really surpassed my expectations of what they could do. Like, it just showed the imagination in hip hop or what you can do. And just how they just used things that was around them. Like doing the research on Midnight Marauders, they used the secretary at the label to be that voice. Like you said, like I was just like, Joe, that's crazy to me. Like they was like they liked her voice, so they asked her to do it. Just utilizing like that's hip hop. That's so hip hop. Just utilizing what's around you.
Yeah.
And that album is just classic, man. Oh my God, just
My
just like
God.
what Pharrell said, like Q-Tip, the loops that he come up with is just ridiculous, man. Like the production, and then you got the bar power factor. Just that Midnight Mirage is crazy, man. From the artwork to the music, I was just like, yeah, sorry, man. It's just a complete package, man. For real.
Yep. Napoleon.
Yeah, it's a hard one, but yeah, for me, I was probably I want to. I mean, I think musicality, as far as the music, the Low End Theory is stronger, but as far as the production and the composition of the album itself, and the way that there's something about the way that they mixed and mastered all of the tracks on Midnight Marauder, so it feels like it's not monotonous, but it feels like one body of bangers. And Low End Theory is beautiful and it's got bangers on it, but it's more like a collection of beautiful paintings that all work together. It works,
Mm.
but for me, yeah, as far as the album, Between the two of them, if I have to put on one of the two of them, it's gonna be Midnight Marauders.
Yeah. I think this is one of those rare moments where I actually like Low End Theory better, but I think Midnight Marauders is probably the better album.
That's
If I take myself out of the equation, and just listen, try to be analytical for all the
And
reasons that you said.
what do you think it is that makes it a better album?
I think, well, I mean, some of it has been mentioned. I mean, you talked about how cohesive, basically it is and how it just flows. I can see people listening to Low End Theory, kind of like what you were saying, Napoleon. Like there's some songs where I could see some people are like, I'll skip this track. I don't really see that in Midnight Marauders as much. There's not really a track in Midnight Marauders where it's like, the collective hip hop audience skips. It's just all dope. So I think there's some of that. I think the production on is better in a way. Like it still has like a simple feel to it, but I feel like Low End Theory was like really stripped down. And where I think there's more, I would say there's more musicality to Midnight Marauders. And the sampling on there, I think Jay Hill mentioned it, it's just incredible. So, yeah. So for those reasons, and I'm sure there's more, it does feel like a really good album, probably a better album. But I don't know. Maybe it's because when I heard Low End Theory, or maybe because I like simplicity and like that album, like the break beats, the stand up bass. I feel like they probably worked really hard and it was very complicated to make it sound so simple. Because I don't know of an album that sounds like that album since that album. So
Yeah.
I love them both. They're probably my second and third favorite albums of all time. So
And
I love them
and,
both.
and if I could add like to like Low End Theory has a special place in my heart because of Fife. Like how Fife improved from instinctive. You know what I'm saying? From the first.
Yeah.
Because I always liked Fife. Like on Ham and Eggs, on what I'm saying, Can I Kick It? I always root for the underdog, and to see him ascend to that level on Low End Theory, that's why I hold that album close to me, because Fife came with it, bro. On Butter, Bugging Out, all them joints, like he came with it. He came with it. So yeah, rest in peace to Fife, man.
Definitely. Definitely. All right. Continuing on. There's more to the native tongues, obviously. But again, this is just a taste of what we're going to be talking about. And we're going to talk about much more on the 21st. But we're going to stick with the theme of De La and A Tribe Called Quest here. The last question, we're looking at catalogs. All right. Bodies of work. Who had the better body of work? Tribe Called Quest or De La Soul?
I mean, I'll go first. You already know what I'm gonna say. I say De La. I go De La. Cause the first album, De La Soul is Dead, Balloon Wine State. What was that? The Balloon Stakes,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get into the Mosaic, the AOI with the Mosaic, and then you go into Grind Date, and then the Anonymous Nobody. Like, come on, man. Like, I don't know. I think Tribe had a run, but I think if you look at them like neck to neck, I think De La has a slight edge over them. But I think if Tribe had stayed together and kept putting out a body of work, I think it'd probably be neck and neck. Or
Yeah.
I don't know. It's depending on what you would probably like if Tribe had went longer. But the longevity of De La, as opposed to like a group of them not breaking up and them staying together, I think De La. I would choose De La.
Okay.
That's
All right.
me.
We got one for De La. Who wants to jump in next?
I would say De La for the same reason, because they still going.
Yeah.
By that cancels out Tribe for me, because they came out with one, after Fife had passed away. But how many years between 98 till, what was it, 2016 or whatever, when they came with it? It's just like, come on, man, y'all left us hanging because y'all couldn't get y'all ish together. and it be cohesive enough to. They missed out on all the time. That's why I probably when he passed away, it hurt even worse. Cause y'all know y'all. Come on, man.
Yeah.
From 99 to then, y'all missed all that time for whatever the reasons are. You know what I'm saying? De La got better and better and better. You know what I'm saying? It's like they grew with the time, but still kept their niche energy. So I gotta go with De La. I love De La. That grind day. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Woo.
That grind day was nuts, bro.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Nuts.
I heard that one a lot, like when I was young. That was kind of one of the records that introduced me to MF Doom, just because of Rock Cocaine Flow.
Say
Yeah.
when I was young. When back yesterday when
Look,
I was young.
my dad played it. I'm sorry, but I liked it. Much More was really dope. That church song was crazy.
Just
Yeah, it was.
just the intro drew you in. We are the past. We are the present. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what is
Yeah.
this, bro? Said, like, let's go.
I mean, I guess while I'm at it, I do have to agree that like I think De La has like the stronger discography overall. But I want to add the point that I think they just made like denser music. Like they're just kind of weirder than Tribe overall, which is more to my taste in particular. So like Tribe made like amazing like they would make stuff that's like simple to listen to but like super difficult to make. You know, they're like kind of like hip hop stereo lab, like in a sense for their time. Like just finding like whatever sounded interesting and working it into like in like even non-musical sounds and like working it into something that's like super palatable and funky every time. But like De La, they were just like straight up exploratory. They're like, if you can't hold on, then you're just gonna get lost in this album. I have to listen to each of their records so many times to know what they're talking about. And it's not because like, oh, like this is from the 90s, it's got more words. It's like, no, it's the words they're saying. Like their shit is like much more like just like covered in like coded language than like a lot of a lot of albums from the 90s that like use like pretty similar like New York slang. Like you could kind of like map your way through the dialect of most albums in that era, but like De La albums were just on a completely different level of just like abstractness, and to be like that way in the mainstream was like really impressive. But I do want to give a shout out to Tribe's like last album. We Got It From Here. I think is like I think it could be argued for their like top 3 projects overall. I think it's very good. I think it's like the ultimate thesis of like what A Tribe Called Quest was meant to be. I think that it is like the ultimate like maturation like of their sound, like they're grown, just saying grown things. All their friends from like past records are showing up, and then the people who learned from them show up. Like you got like Kendrick, Kanye, Consequence, and Busta Rhymes like all like showing up within like minutes of each other. That's tight.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, We Got It From Here is amazing.
It's pretty dope. All right. So is that 3? I think that's 3 for De La Soul.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think so. Napoleon?
Napoleon. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm anxious to hear what Napoleon said.
You know what? It's crazy because there are albums and there are albums by De La that lightweight annoy me. Like nah, maybe not even lightweight, but like that second. What is the second one? De La
De La
Soul is
Soul.
Dead.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever listened to that album front to back. Like I can't make it through that album. That's
20 some tracks.
I
Like
can't make
20,
it through the album, and I'm not sure that even what was the name of the first one? Not De La Soul's Dead.
3
3
feet
feet.
high.
Three
Yeah,
Feet
Three
High and
Feet High
Rising.
and Rising.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love certain tracks on there. I like a lot. I should say. So the relationship between De La and Tribe for me is like they would have been normally like back at, as the groups developed. By the time we got to Low End Theory and Midnight Marauders, it was hands down. Tribe was my favorite group, like one of my favorite groups in hip hop. Period. And
Exactly.
Daylight was like, oh yeah, that's Daylight. Like we that's something we listen to. You know what I'm saying? But it was another group that was affiliated with Tribe, but didn't have the same status in my mind as Tribe. Daylight was a notch or two down for me because it was just like it was. I mean, that sounds crazy for me to be saying something that's too experimental, but it wasn't that it was too experimental. Sometimes it felt like they were experimenting on me when I was listening. Like don't
Mm.
experiment on me. Like experiment and then show me what you came up with after you experiment. You know, that I mean, like how I was super pissed when I bought the first old Dirty Bastard album. I was like, what is this? I was in the car with you. Remember my sister Natina that was with us and that was at a lot of Watusi, was involved in Watusi. I remember I was on 75 and I had just gotten the ODB. I was like, okay, this is gonna put it in. First track is okay. Then he starts with the skits and all the tripping. I was like, what? I was like, so Daylight almost had me there at from time. But I'm saying all of that to say that while that's the case, I think over the years it's interesting because their albums are works of art, but I think their career is a work of art because you
Yeah.
can see how they fine tune the approach to having concept albums. Now they have
Mhm.
concept albums and they're more cohesive. They pull you in more and they have certain songs that hit you
Mm.
almost the way that Stakes is High hit you almost on every album. They have something like a Stakes is High now. And I think the first one that really hit me, like the first album they had that hit me in that kind of space, like, oh, this is definitely gonna be a group that I continue to watch, is Blown Mind State.
Yep.
When they use that the sample from Five Heartbeat, why is always
Yeah.
crossing over? Why is ain't nothing crossover, ain't nothing but a double cross.
Right.
Like that hit me in the soul, bro. So then
Yeah.
so when they came back with Stakes is High, I was like, yeah, they lied.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like has already been said, their longevity and the fact that they stayed, them three cats have stayed, and it does something. That cohesion, the relationship you have between people that you trust, try different ideas, and then somebody. I'm sure there might have been some arguments from time to time, but that allows you to be able to say, bruh, I know you love that idea. I know you want that loop to be the loop. But that ain't it. Like we can do better than this. We daylight. I could imagine that those kind of conversations happening.
Yeah.
Like that trying people.
Yeah. It's
You
a
know,
dope.
you want
That's my
to,
song, man.
bruh.
Try. Just
That's
the
straight gospel.
intro, like,
That's straight
yeah.
gospel, bro. That's like gospel, boom bap gospel. And
Ooh,
then
that,
Hmm.
Lord intended on the anonymous list of
Yeah.
nobody, bruh.
yeah, it's dope.
So
It,
Yeah,
so
man.
in terms of catalog, unlikely, but Daylight wins.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, De La Soul is my favorite group of all time,
Oh, okay.
Mine too.
and I think analytically here, I think De La Soul is the better group overall for
Okay.
reasons many of you have mentioned. But if you take the first 5 albums that they both put out, starting with their solos or their debuts, and then going to the Love Movement with Tribe and the first AOI from De La Soul. If you take those first 5 and then you add on their last album, because those albums came out the same time basically. I think one came out August, one December or something, or September. So if you take those 6 albums, I don't know. I think musically, I think Tribe probably has the better
Mm-hmm.
catalog musically,
Mm-hmm.
because the music on those albums is just it's just so good. De La Soul definitely like Blue Mind State is my favorite album of all time. So there's definitely albums that are like from De La that's just beautiful from beginning to end. But like you were saying, Napoleon, some of those albums didn't really feel like albums. They're like experiences. You have to kind of be in the mood to experience it. It's an adventure. Which is cool. And if you're into that, that's awesome. But I think just straight music, I think Tribe might have the upper hand slightly. But
Mm.
then you have to take out some of those De La Soul albums when Tribe was on their hiatus, doing whatever. But if you add those De La Soul albums back in there, then De La Soul gets it for me because
If they
they just have more music.
stopped in the '90s, then it's Tribe for me all the
Yeah,
way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the two AOIs, and then everything that came after that, like into the 2000s, they just got better. To me, they
yeah,
just more seasoned. More,
Ooh.
yeah,
yes.
Man, that's my joint right there,
Yeah.
man.
And I know Jay Hill mentioned it, pretty extensively, but that Grind Date album, I mean, for a group to be around that long and put out a few albums that, people liked, no doubt the AOIs I thought were dope, but they were not talked about as much as like Stakes is High or, De La Soul is Dead or whatever. They come back all those years later and put out Grind Date where almost everyone in the hip hop world considers, if not a classic, just a really great album. That's pretty
Mhm.
impressive to me. So yeah, De La Soul all the way.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
slightly. Fellas, listen, I know it's late. We had some technical difficulties getting on. My apologies to you on that. I appreciate y'all staying up this late with us. Last thing I wanted to do before we go is just let each one of you just share with the folks that are listening in what you have coming up, what you're working on, whatever you want to tell the people. If you want them to follow you on social media or call you on your cell phone, whatever you want the people to do, you can let them know and tell the people what you have coming up. So we'll just go around and do that and then be on our way. And I'll throw it over to Iomas.
Uh, what do I got going on? I mean, I'm excited about the book, the Native Tongue book. Plug out to that. I got 2 articles left to write. um, but yeah, I'm excited about that book. Excited about my own book. I'm working on a book that's it's a love letter to Black students. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm,
trying to finish that by the end of the summer, and then now since school is over, I'm switching from the academic hat, getting back into the music. So got a couple projects I want to finish. I got a me and Fifth is working on a project. Uh, me and Profound's working on a project. Black Sons, and then I forget the producer that knows Till, but Till, we got some beats from him, and we got a dope concept for that part. So I'm excited for that. So yeah, this summer's gonna be like straight music for me. So I'm excited about that. So
yeah.
um, but yeah, that's me, man. That's me, man. So that's what I'm on,
Thanks, Iomas.
and
And
I
that
really appreciate. Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead, bro.
I was just gonna say that producer's name is Jazz Soon. Jazz Soon. Yeah.
Yes, Jazz
So
Soon. So
anyway,
shout out to him. And man, just shout out to Jay Hill being here tonight, and shout out to my brother. I can't see his name again. Vibe One.
there we go.
Vibe One, pardon self, bro. Vibe One and my brother Napoleon, man. Like, I can't wait to see y'all face to face in Cincinnati. Appreciate y'all allowing me to hold space with y'all, even though I'm not from Cincinnati. But like I told y'all before we got on, like Cincinnati is very huge to my development as an MC. So I hold that city dear to my heart, man. You know what I'm saying? Like from the first time I went to Scribble Jam, I was blown away. You know what I'm saying? So Cincinnati, as long as it's breath in my lungs, Cincinnati will be always getting props from me. You know what I'm saying? That's the city that's like helped me develop as not only a person but as an artist as well. So shout out to Cincinnati, man. I can't wait to hold space with y'all May 21st, and I hope we be able to go out and break bread and just build. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all, man, for sure.
Definitely.
Much
Thanks,
love.
thanks, Io. We'll go down to Jay Hill next.
What am I doing? All right, yeah, check it out. I make rap music on the internet. You can catch me on Instagram at jhillraps, JAYHILLRAPS. Um, Patterns of Chaos is streaming everywhere. The new album, Chaotic Good. The band POC on streaming. I mean on social media platforms. I host Plum Jam with Radio Artifact. You can search us up on YouTube through the Radio Artifact YouTube channel and the Plum Jam Raps channel. That's PLUMBJAMB. That's right. There's B's on it. Let's see. Oh, I got cassettes of my new EP, Ultra Orange, produced by yours truly. And you can download it for free at jhill.bandcamp.com. But the limited edition cassettes are uh, dubbed by me. I made sure the drums are like nice and thick and they sound tight, and they've got the instrumentals on the other side. And you can tell me you think they're trash or that you think they're excellent, or like what makes them not trash or not excellent through the internet. Come to a show. I'll be doing stuff.
Dope stuff. Jay Hill be doing dope stuff. Thanks, Jay Hill, man. Appreciate you.
Thank y'all for having me.
No doubt,
Thank you for letting me be the young cat, by the way. This is like low-key an intimidating group to be part of, talking about rap that came out when I was born.
Well, man, that's one thing I appreciate about you, man. You've gone back and have listened to these albums and have grown appreciation for them, man. So
oh yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're relevant.
Oh, for sure. Cool. Thanks, Jay Hill. We'll roll to Vibe 1.
Mr. Vibe 1 on Instagram, Vibe 1 VIBE-ONE on Facebook. I got a new album out right now called Uno Kenobi. It is every few years I come out with a producer's album, kind of like Dr. Dre's Chronic. So it's me featuring a bunch of people from the city, some people from outside the city, some people from outside the country. Uno Kenobi, Uno, and then Kenobi, like Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's just me saying, like, I'm a master lyrical producing Jedi. And everybody that's on the album with me are Jedis in their own right. That was my mind. That was my perspective on it when I came up with it. You can get that on Bandcamp or vibe1.bandcamp.com, or streaming everywhere. The album's streaming everywhere that you would stream. So hopefully, if you're streaming it for a minute, then go to Bandcamp and then buy it. So I get that money fast in a hurry. I got a show coming up this Friday at Chameleon with Counterfeit Money Machine. With them, or us release for their album that's coming out. It'll be me and Kenny Wayne performing there. Then of course, we got this coming up on the 21st of May. The Watusi Tribe, we're working on. We came out with our 25th anniversary album, and then the world shut down. So we had to re-up, and what we're doing now is adding about 5 songs to that project to make it like a deluxe version. It's called In Case You Didn't Know. So hopefully that will be dropping. We re-dropping that hopefully no later than like July. And then in September, I'm going to be dropping a collaborative project with Samsung Zulu called the Sun Vibe Project. All tracks produced by Sam and co-produced by myself. And that's like 10 just straight boom bap, crazy, ill, all the old school hip hop terms you want to throw in there. It's gonna be that type of stuff. Slapping drums, just crazy. I can't wait to release that. That's been sitting on ice for like 2 years because of the same reason with the Watusi stuff. So that's what I got going on. Peace. Thank y'all for having me.
Right on. Thank you, Vibe.
Bro, I'm just following you, man. You and your workout regimen, bro. I need your number, bro. You gonna be my you about to be my virtual personal trainer, bro.
You said that because I do personal training. Anybody check me out. I got you.
Yeah, I'm at you, bro. Cause I'm trying to do pull-ups, bro. I can't do one pull-up, bro. I'll be watching the what you call them dudes in New York? Monkey Monkey, man, them dudes is crazy, bro. I've seen my man doing pull-ups. I'm like, shoot, I don't know them, but I know you. I'm at you, bro.
Right.
I'm at you, bro, for real.
I am on said he trying to do a pull up.
Man, if I could get one pull-up before I make my transition, bro, I'll be good, bro.
When I hear you talk about a lot of people when they say that when they be out, they go it's Saturday night, Friday night, they going, we about to pull up. When you
Right.
say that, that's the whole
Yeah. I hear pull up like all the time. I don't do many pull ups.
Oh man, that is hilarious, bro. Hey, I'm just being transparent, man.
Right.
All right, Napoleon, we'll switch it to you, man.
Hey man, so like so as you know, one of the main words off my lips is the Underworld Black Arts Festival, Underworld Jazz Festival right now. So that's building on that a lot. But outside of that, as an artist, I'm returning, bringing twice the first time the stories of Millie Christine back on stage. Um, it's been almost like 5 years now. So we debuted in 2017, and so we keep refreshing it, making it new again, bringing in the experiences of people where we're doing a performance. So the next show of that is going to be in Nantes, France, which is a city that a lot of people don't know about, but it's a happening city in the west of France. So we're doing that show there, and then shortly thereafter, we're going to start this residency in Naples, Italy, where we'll do a larger scale, like almost like a hip hop opera around the same story, the same theme line, but a lot of the same songs, but revamping that whole show. Millie Christine for the first time. For people that are watching this and don't know this work, it's a story about my ancestors who were the aunts of my grandmother who were conjoined twins. And they lived that way their entire life. And because they were born in the period of enslavement, they were exhibited for the profit of the people that owned them. But then when they gained their freedom, they continued to perform, but with dignity, and they became celebrities and wealthy, and they invested back in their community. So we're bringing that show. One of the things that's coming up for me is that we're bringing that show to Naples, Italy, as a large scale show, something akin to a hip hop opera. And then in between the date in Nantes in France, and then the date in Naples that I'm talking about, I have several other performances coming up. Follow me on social media. You'll see stuff like the Bad Fat Brass Band that I'm working with. We're doing several tour dates. I'm launching a new theater project in Switzerland, and then I'll just be on the road with Sorg as well. And then we'll come to Cincinnati with the Tucson Louverture Project, which is another narrative-based performance that is linked with real people in history. Toussaint Louverture was the person that declared Haiti independent from France when they had to fight for their freedom and had the revolution against the state, the empire, the colony of a French colony. So we do this show honoring and celebrating Toussaint Louverture, the general of that became the first governor of Haiti. So these are some of the projects that we're working on.
Wow.
We'll be bringing those, as much of that as we can. We'll be bringing here to the Natty.
Yeah.
So that'll be one of the shows on the festival.
Dope.
Word.
That's dope. Yeah. That's
I
dope.
forgot to mention Napoleon is featured on that Sun Vibe project as well. Me and him and Samsung Zulu. Got it.
What is the name of that track? Because it's been so long since.
Don't go against the grain.
Don't go against the grain. That's right.
Yeah. It's a dope title. Man, dope stuff, fellas. All kinds of dope stuff y'all are doing. I just want to re-mention what Alma said. We got a book coming out later this month about the native tongues called the Native Tongues Review. And we have a new CD. Our guy Profound has a new CD called Distant Gratification coming out same day. And please, if you're in Cincinnati, come check us out. Come hang out with us. Celebrate the native tongues and local hip hop. at Everybody's Records on May 21st from 1 to 4. And make sure you follow all the faces you see here tonight because they're all doing incredible stuff.
Yep,
All right,
by
I think
the way, on Instagram,
yeah,
I'm Napoleon Solo Shots. Napoleon Solo Shots.
there you go.
The gram.
Follow him, follow everybody. And I think that'll do it. On that note, we say
Hey.
peace, 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 peace. Doom, 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 doom.
Much love.